The Golden Boys, a family comedy shot in and around Chatham last year, just opened exclusively at the West Newton Cinema. Jared Bowen has this look at the film that showcases three of Hollywood's best-known character actors and Boston's own Christy Scott Cashman.
In blustery Chatham, three blustery old men.
Which one of these types are you suffering for?
Why don't you hush up?
Cape Cod director Dan Adams shot his film The Golden Boys on the Cape in March and April of last year. Set in 1905, it centers on three retired sea captains, David Carradine, Rip Torn, and Bruce Dern, who share a home but no housekeeping skills, so they seek out a wife to be their maid.
What we have to do is make our own advertisement. Say exactly what kind of woman we want, and then sit back and wait for the answers. Simple.
What do you think about this, Jerry? Well, seems like a good idea.
Mariel Hemingway arrives to tend to the men as the widow Snow, and in the meantime, they've conspired in a coin toss to have Torn's Captain Jerry propose, something he can't quite bring himself to do.
She's a fine, pretty woman. I'd be proud to have her as my wife. But I just ain't got the spunk yet to ask her.
The spunk? It don't take much spunk.
I need a month at least.
A month?
Well, 3 weeks.
A week.
Conceived as a wholesome throwback, The Golden Boys broke box office records on the Cape this year, and now hopes a national release will make it truly golden.
All right, and Golden Boys director Dan Adams is here. Welcome, Dan. Now, you described this as just good old-fashioned entertainment.
That's right, that's right. A couple of years ago, I had this radical idea that there might be a market for films that have, you know, no violence, no foul language, just good old-fashioned, kind of like in the tradition of Frank Capra and John Ford. And so that's what we made this film, and hopefully there is a market for it.
That's a good point. I was at the theater the other weekend, and there was a young mother there. It was the middle of the afternoon. And she said, oh, my gosh, she said, there isn't a single movie, and she said it out loud, that we can see together. She was talking about, you know, she had kids 8, 10.
Sure.
They couldn't go.
Yeah. And what's interesting is also, you know, the baby boom generation, the largest going audience in history, they now have nothing to see. They really, most people of that age and older, they're sort of don't want to see all the fast cutting and the, you know, handheld stuff and all those modern techniques that teenagers love to see in a movie. And so there's nothing for them to see as well. So this is sort of gauged for that particular audience, and hopefully people will...
Well, I mean, it did well on the Cape. You know, it was shot in and around the Cape, so people are always curious about what's going on in their neighborhoods. But, I mean, is it testing the waters just to start at Newton? How does it work?
It's interesting.
Does it go national after that, or...?
Yeah, it's we're doing a test market here in West Newton and then also in Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, perfect. You get that.
Exactly.
A lot of those baby boomers heading down there.
Right, exactly. So, and it did well in both places over the weekend. So, I think that bodes well. And we're going to be IFC Films, which is distributing the film nationally. They, you know, have to. I guess we have to prove that there is actually people that want to see these types of films, because it's interesting that these were the types of films that were made all the time in Hollywood, and now for some reason people in Hollywood don't understand how to market these films anymore. So
well, how do you?
Amazing.
I mean, you got three fine actors in the movie. I mean, did they like the screenplay? I mean, how did that work?
They did, I guess. Yeah, they loved the characters, these three crusty old sea captains. And so it wasn't hard casting because I guess because of the material.
Where did the screenplay come from?
Well, I wrote it, but it was based on an old Joe Lincoln novel. Joe Lincoln was one of the most prolific Massachusetts authors in history. He wrote kind of like the Stephen King of his day. He wrote 45 novels in 40 years, starting from 1904 to 1944, and this was his first novel, actually, called Captain Erie, and that's what the screenplay was based on. So.
I'm curious, ballpark. I mean, what kind of a budget does a film like that have?
We had under $5 million. It was.
I wouldn't do one animation cell for some of these things.
That's right. It was a good low-budget film, and hopefully, if it does well, we'll have a bigger budget for the next one. So.
Now, you used a local actor here, too, Christy Scott Cashman, who's a
Christy.
neighbor. And now, did you know her from the Cape? Or?
No, but I knew her, met her because we cast her in the film, and Christy's, we're very lucky
We didn't have any clips of her. We would have used them, but we didn't have it.
We're very lucky to have Christy in Boston. She is a wonderful
She's
actress,
really,
and
very generous with the house. They were just shooting Edge of Darkness over there last
were they?
week.
Oh,
yeah,
great, yeah.
At their house.
Well, that's great. Yeah, no, Christy's a wonderful actress, and I love working with her, and I hope to work with her again. She's really great.
Now, everybody who met you in the green room said, you know, he's such a regular guy. I mean, directors these days have just taken on this aura of superstardom, and they're bigger than some of the actors in their movies. What's happened here? Get it all?
Sounds good to me.
Is that you looking to be that?
No, you know, I guess that's why I don't live in L.A. I mean, I did my time in L.A. and I lived in New York, and you know, I much prefer to come back where I grew up here in Massachusetts. And so, I don't know. I've run into a lot of people in Los Angeles in the film business that I wouldn't want to be my neighbor. But there are a lot of really nice people, too, and luckily I ferreted those out, and I work with a lot of really great people. So.
David Mamet lived here. He drifted. I mean, it seems like eventually, if you want that superstardom, do you have to end up in Hollywood?
I hope not. I'd like to. I love living on Cape Cod. It's you know, the great thing is that these Massachusetts tax credits, which they started a year ago, is great. The movies I've done in the past, in fact, I did a movie about 15 years ago that was based in Boston, and we only got to shoot 2 weeks in Boston and the rest we had to shoot in Luxembourg. Believe it or not, we had to make it look like Boston. But with the tax credits now, it's so much better, and because I hate a long commute, and so it's really great that I can actually write films that are based in Massachusetts, that I can shoot in Massachusetts, and that because you get that 25% tax credit, people in Hollywood are more apt to give you the rest of the money to make the film.
Now, compared to Rhode Island or Maine, do you get the same? And because that's beautiful coastline for shooting all around there too. Is the tax situation so much more desirable here that you would choose?
I think Rhode Island has a good tax credit, and so does Connecticut. Yeah. I don't know about Maine, but I think it's sort of competition. But you know, I love Cape Cod, and I love Cape Cod stories. I'm doing another one next year with Martin Sheen and Blythe Danner and Chris O'Donnell, and it's we're shooting that on the Cape as well. So I'd like to, you know, have the rest of my career here on Cape Cod.
All right, well, this one looks like a lot of fun. I won't spoil the ending for anybody. It looks like a lot of fun. All right, Dan Adams, thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
West Newton Cinema. All right, that's it for Greater Boston. Tomorrow night, Decision Day. Join me for a 1-hour election night special as we seize on what went right and what went wrong in this historic election. That's live tomorrow at 7 on Emily Rooney.